Meeting up with other households indoors is not risk-free, and I have a duty to point that out very clearly. So I want to remind everyone once again that just because we can visit people indoors over Christmas on a limited basis doesn't mean that we have to. Any indoor meeting between different households obviously creates a risk. The virus will not take a break over the Christmas period, so don't give it the opportunity to jump from household to household if you can possibly avoid it. However, if you decide that it is essential to meet other people over Christmas, now is the time to start thinking about reducing unnecessary contacts that you might normally be having between now and then. And that's particularly the case if you are planning to meet up with any elderly relatives over Christmas. So, for example, if you usually have a weekly catch-up with a friend in a cafe, perhaps decide not to have that catch-up this week or next week. If you are car sharing at the moment, which of course is something that is always risky and we are advising against, try not to do it over the next couple of weeks in particular. By doing all of that, by taking precautions to cut down on unnecessary contacts. Obviously, there are necessary contacts, work-related, for example, that some of us have to make. But if we cut down unnecessary contacts, then we reduce any chance of getting the virus and inadvertently passing it on. Final point about Christmas that I want to stress, and I'm sorry that I am starting to sound like the Christmas killjoy here, might sound obvious, but it is really important, and that relates to office parties. Obviously, if you can't work from home and you're sharing a workplace with colleagues right now, I understand why it might be tempting to have some sort of celebration or social gathering at work, because this obviously has been a really difficult time for everyone. But office parties, especially if they involve alcohol, present a real risk of transmission. People are less likely to stick to physical distancing requirements than when they're working, and more likely to pass around food or drinks without perhaps washing their hands as carefully as they should. So I'm asking everybody, please don't take these risks. By far the best way of marking Christmas with your colleagues this year is to do it virtually. It is not as much fun, I appreciate that, but it is much, much safer.